Elon Musk has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday was the grand unveiling of the new Cybertruck. Fresh out of Dexter's laboratory, he made a big live performance showing off the truck, and man, it was fucking wild. Expectations were subverted harder than in Game of Thrones. The design is like nothing I've ever seen before. Let me just show you some clips from the unveiling.
So I present to you the Cybertruck.
Elon had this shit popping off like you were at an EDM rave. This was hype as fuck. I half expected The Undertaker to be coming out of that tunnel instead of the truck. This was like some WWE pyrotechnics display. This is the Super Bowl of truck announcements. I love that even the employees get out of the truck in costume. They have like these long future-looking trench coats on and shit. I have expected them to bust out into a choreographed dance routine to some type of theme song written for the Cybertruck by Skrillex. But that didn't happen, unfortunately. But I love the costuming. It's fucking great. Now, obviously, this whole event has drummed up a lot of attention online, mainly due to the peculiar design of the Cybertruck.
Doesn't look like anything else.
And he's not wrong, the Cybertruck looks like a lot of things, and none of them are a truck. The first thing I thought of when I saw it was Lara Croft's tits from the PlayStation 1 game. It's so goddamn pointy at the top, like you're driving around like a fucking paper sailboat. It just looks so low polygon, like as if you entered into a Halo game, but the Warthog's textures haven't finished rendering, so it's just like this mess of polygons on your screen. I don't know why it's so goddamn pointy. I feel like you'd cut yourself just getting in and out of the vehicle. But to be honest, I actually kind of like how over-the-top goofy this looks. It's like you're driving around the spaceship from the old Atari Space Invaders game. I think there's a certain charm to it, but the rest of the performance here at the unveiling is spectacular, so let's continue.
It's a regular truck door. Really wind up. Nail it.
So this was a demonstration of its armor capabilities in case you find yourself driving through a rough neighborhood of anti-vax moms who start trying to hunt you down with their sledgehammer. Ordinarily on a normal truck door, as you saw, it would dent it, kind of fuck it up a little bit. But if you're driving the Cybertruck through that area, they can't get through that shit with a sledgehammer.
What if we shot it? Let's shoot it.
Whoa, now you've gone too far, Elon. Shooting it with what, a fucking 50 caliber round? Phalanx gun? Railgun? Think it'd probably stand up to all of it. Unfortunately, he doesn't actually shoot it on stage, he doesn't execute it. I have expected him to pull out a Desert Eagle from his back pocket and just blast it, ricocheting the bullet off of the truck and hitting an audience member. If that did happen though, the audience member would probably consider it an honor to get shot by Elon Musk's Cybertruck. But unfortunately, he just shows video footage of what happens when they did shoot it in testing.
Nothing. Yeah, so still there, I guess. Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
This was to compare the Cybertruck's glass to normal truck glass. The Cybertruck glass could withstand a goddamn space shuttle taking off right in front of it, and to demonstrate that, they're using this very heavy, dense steel ball and dropping it on the normal truck glass, which shattered. Well, not shattered, but it cracked. And using it on the Cybertruck glass where it didn't crack at all. So you had Danny Sexbang going up the ladder and dropping it on it, and you saw it didn't crack or anything. Very impressive stuff, but I would have done it a little differently. If I was in Elon Musk's shoes doing that, I would have had like a Cirque du Soleil juggler juggling those steel balls and then just dropping them one at a time onto the piece of glass. It would have been a really cool performance, and I think it would have added a lot more to the display.
Sure? Yeah. Oh my fucking god. Well, maybe that was a little too hard. It didn't go through. So that's a plus side.
Let's try the right.
Try that one, really? Okay. Sure. Oh, man. It didn't go through.
Unfortunately, that man's arm is just too strong. A professional pitcher throwing that steel ball at the glass, it never stood a chance. He could take down a fucking building with that. He's got like a little wrecking ball for an arm, and he's just throwing it at it. Yeah, there was no chance. So unfortunately, the glass cracked quite significantly, which wasn't in the script. But god damn it, Elon Musk's recovery was pretty solid. At least it didn't go through, so that's good. You're being hunted down by a major league pitcher with a steel ball in the cybertruck. May fuck your glass up, but it ain't gonna take you down.
So you can see the truck.
This whole thing was so goddamn hype, I half expected that man to take off the helmet and it's Jeffrey Epstein underneath or something crazy like that, fucking Steve Jobs or something. But no, it's just a normal man. He was driving that ATV that looked like it was a huge paper cut hazard up into the bed to show that it can sustain big weight, stuff like that. And that's pretty much where the truck unveiling ends. I think the truck is super goofy, which makes it cool to me. And yeah, what a design. Elon Musk has done it again, baby. Fuck yeah. See ya. What an absolutely wild morning full of shocking surprises. I never thought it was possible for me to get any taller at my age. I'm 27 and like the epiphyseal plates close at 20 and whatever. I didn't think it was possible to grow anymore. And I didn't. But I also didn't think it was possible for Elon Musk to just outright try and buy Twitter. And that seems to be happening right now. Today, Elon Musk put out a public statement with a real offer to buy Twitter, which was sent to Twitter at $54 a share. So coming out to roughly a $43 billion buyout of Twitter. I said publicly I don't think there's a chance Elon would ever try this. Not that I'm like Elon Musk's PR guy or his fucking therapist or whatever. I don't know him. It's not like a parasocial relationship. But this guy goes on Twitter and dank meme shit posts every day. I remember for a little while he was talking about buying Fortnite just to shut it down. Thinking about buying Santa's workshop and hiring all the elves to pump out Teslas for all the good boys and girls in the world. He makes posts like that all the time, like, yeah, I might just buy this, might just go ahead and take control of this. And he never does or anything, so when he initially made the tweet saying, yeah, I might just buy Twitter, why not, fuck it. No one really took it seriously, myself included. I swear to God, Elon Musk took a puff of a joint one time on Rogan, and that changed his life, it feels like. Because from that moment, he just started going like a little hard here, getting a bit wacky. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow he makes an offer to try and buy heaven from God. But anyway, no one took him seriously when he's like, yeah, I might buy Twitter. And then he made a power move and got 9% of Twitter for like $3 billion or whatever that was, which I guess is just pennies to him. He's wiping his ass with $3 billion, so that was meaningless. And I thought that's where the story would end, that's where the anime wraps up, but then he went full-blown anime protagonist here by just saying, you know what, I want the whole company. I'm not done with you yet. So he makes a formal offer for a crazy price at $43-ish billion because he wants to make it better for free speech and improve the platform overall and take it private because he doesn't want the company public anymore. And it's just truly wild. Now, what I find to be the most interesting part of it is the way that he's doing it with a very public statement. It feels like he made a twitlonger to buy the website. When I first started reading it, I thought I was looking at a fucking YouTuber apology or like drama between internet creators. Let's go ahead and read it. I invested in Twitter as I believe in its potential to be a platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a societal imperative for a functioning democracy. However, since making my investment, I now realize the company will neither thrive nor serve this societal imperative in its current form. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company. As a result, I am offering to buy 100% of Twitter for $54.20 per share in cash, a 54% premium over the day before I began investing in Twitter, and a 38% premium over the day before my investment was publicly announced. My offer is my best and final offer, and if it is not accepted, I would need to reconsider my position as a shareholder. Twitter has extraordinary potential. I will unlock it. My man's out here sounding like Dr. Robotnik after the Chaos Emeralds, talking about unlocking its full power. Now, it's not as goofy as it sounds, him offering to buy Twitter like this, because he does have 9% stake in the company, and this statement he put out is, it's kind of going nuts to butts. He's saying, you know, if you don't accept this, I'll have to reconsider being a shareholder. He's their biggest shareholder. So if he sells off all of his stock, it's going to tank Twitter's price. It's going to be pretty devastating if Elon just decided, oh, they haven't accepted my offer. Eat this, suck on my cock. Here's my dick and balls, and sells all 9% of his shares. That's not good for a company's stock price, but it is good for Elon. I'm a dumb troglodyte and not super smart when it comes to these things, so in my eyes, it seems like he put his ass in their asshole, where even if they don't accept his offer, he just gets to sell his stock and make money off of that, which is good for him, or they accept his offer and he gets the platform that he's been fucking addicted to for the last few years. This guy posts more on Twitter than a 16-year-old girl, so I mean, he gets to have his dream platform under his belt and do with it what he wants. I don't exactly know what he's going to do to make Twitter better, if such a thing is even possible, but I also don't think he can make it worse. I imagine it's just going to be exactly the same as it is right now, but I've been wrong millions of times before. Maybe he's going to change Twitter where you log in and get free fucking ice cream. I couldn't tell you. But from the perspective of a little reptile brain idiot like me, it seems like no matter what Twitter decides to do here, Elon Musk wins. He either gets Twitter or gets a big payday when selling the stock. But you know who never wins with an Elon Musk tweet? Gab. On every single tweet Elon makes, I see fucking Gab make a desperate post for Elon to notice them. Gab is supposed to be a free speech alternative to Twitter or some shit, but every time I've checked out their website for even a fucking millisecond, the top posts are either QAnon conspiracies or just actual racism, and the comments just have a lot of people using the N-word. I don't know if that's the entire community. It's probably not representative of the entire Gab group. But Jesus Christ, it is fucking weird. And I really feel like every single time I see Elon tweet, Gab is just beneath them replying to it, either begging for some kind of attention or recognition from Big Daddy Elon, or begging for investment. So when Elon made this offer tweet where he goes through like trying to buy Twitter, Gab made their offer to Elon saying, this is all a bunch of hogwash. This is garbage, Elon. How about you sell your Twitter stock and then invest $2 billion into Gab and we'll take the world over? And it's just so desperate. And then he even signed, it comes from their CEO, and then he even signed it at the bottom with Jesus Christ is King. Even the Gab community wasn't excited about it. You can read some of these posts talking about like the relationship between Elon and Jesus Christ isn't strong enough, and about a transhuman agenda to build a prison planet. And then, of course, going right into the N-word, and then microchips in people's brains and shit. So not even the Gab community was excited about another desperate post from their CEO begging to suckle a little bit of milk out of Elon's bosom. But yeah, I just wanted to briefly at least mention that Gab part of this, because they are always in the replies to everything Elon does, and it's so sad. And not just them. NFT crypto bros. In every Elon tweet, they are begging for Elon to mention their shitcoin or their NFT project. Like, hey Elon, what do you think about this dolphin butthole? Is this the next big NFT craze? Or like attributing a quote to Elon where it's like, in quotes, this is the best NFT ever made, Elon Musk. Thanks Elon for the endorsement from some garbage crypto thing. It is always his replies now since the whole Dogecoin shit. It's wild. I don't know how there is so little shame on Twitter. But anyway, I just wanted to at least mention those two things briefly. So the whole situation is wild with Elon attempting to buy Twitter. I think even if successful and he gets Twitter, I don't think anything changes with the platform. I don't know what he could possibly fucking do to make the platform any less of a giant cesspool than it currently is. But, I mean, good luck, I suppose. To me, it just seems like he's throwing $43 billion or $41 billion. I actually can't tell because a lot of different places are reporting a different number. Between $41 and $43 billion, it just seems like he's flushing it down the toilet. And it's the grossest, filthiest toilet imaginable since it's Twitter. But, yeah, anyway, just wanted to at least talk about it since it's such a crazy topic. That's about it. See ya. Did I jump scare you? Yeah, I bet I did. You coward. You make me sick. Your weakness is pathetic. But now that I got your heart pumping a little bit, I want to talk to you about an absolutely wacky lawsuit that I read about today. Elon Musk is being sued for $258 billion because of Dogecoin. This is the story of how one angry Dogecoin enjoyer named Keith teamed up with Saul Goodman to try and win more money than some country's entire GDP, all from a shitcoin. Now, not much is known about Keith other than he invested in Dogecoin in 2019, thanks almost entirely due to Elon Musk's tweets about it, promoting it. He was under the impression it was a legitimate investment and a good idea. And fast forward to today, where Dogecoin has eaten more ass than pinworms, and he's a little upset. He claims he has been defrauded by Musk, and it was actually all part of a pyramid scheme. Keith was feeling awfully gluttonous and is suing for $86 billion in damages, as well as triple damages of $172 billion. He's suing Elon Musk, SpaceX, and Tesla. He's aiming to score a hat trick here. He's arguing that Musk and his companies falsely and deceptively claim that Dogecoin is a legitimate investment when it has no value at all. Man, who could have seen that coming? What a surprise. Dogecoin actually doesn't have value? It was started as a joke in 2013. It was a meme coin. And you know what they say? Live by the shit coin, die in shit. This was always going to happen. This was always the predetermined fate for every Dogecoin enthusiast. Unless you were a galaxy brain gigachad like me, who put a little bit of money into Dogecoin right when the hype train really started just because of pure FOMO. I put in it like 20 cents and just turned my brain off and dumped into like a lot of other shit coins as well. But Dogecoin I got in on like 20 cents and then I sold it hours before Elon Musk was going to appear on SNL because I knew nothing good ever comes from SNL. So I sold it at like 66 cents and made out like a goddamn king. I turned like $100 into like 300 or 400 or something because I fucking predicted it. I knew if Elon Musk was going on SNL to mention Dogecoin, it was going to kill it on the spot, and it did. It's never recovered. I fucking calculated it. But for that one good decision, I also made 1,000 bad ones. I put money into like 20,000 other rug pulls as well, but god damn it, this is the one that mattered the most. I will say this though, I do feel bad for people like Keith who had no idea what crypto was and only learned about it from Elon Musk. For some reason, Elon still has like a following that worships him as a god and will take everything he says at face value and just go hog wild with it. Keith was no exception, and he lost a lot of money from it allegedly and is now aiming to try and at least fight for it back. And then some. I don't know if Keith necessarily lost 270 or 58 billion, but god damn it, he's coming for scalps right now, I suppose. It continues saying that Keith wants to represent a class of people who had lost money trading in Dogecoin since April 2019, asking for 86 billion plus the 172, as well as an order blocking Musk and the companies from promoting Dogecoin and declaring that Dogecoin trading constitutes gambling under US and New York law. Well, good news for Keith, Elon Musk and his companies haven't mentioned Dogecoin in like a year. That name has become like Voldemort now. They don't touch it. I can't even remember the last time I saw him say that. So that one's already good without a court order. They've completely stopped because they've had their fun memeing around at the expense of people like Keith who lost a ton of money on it. Any money lost on Dogecoin to Elon Musk is negligible. But to an average octogenarian that only learns about it through Elon convincing them that it's a good idea, the money they lose, that means a lot. That's a huge difference maker in their lives. And I also don't think Elon Musk lost money on Dogecoin either. I wouldn't be surprised if he never put money into it in the first place and was only joking from the get-go, just to fuck with people and just to fuck with the entire market of it. But regardless, a lot of people did legitimately lose tons and tons of money on it, like Keith. And then he wants it to be like constituted as gambling. Which it is. I mean, all crypto is gambling, 100%. I don't care how much copium you're boofing, there is no crypto that isn't just straight gambling. Take, for example, Luna, which was like the 4th most traded crypto for like the last year, and then over the course of a week, it went from $100 per token to less than like 1/1,000,000th of a penny. It died in a week. It just completely spiraled and died. It was a stable coin and died in a week from 100 to 0, well, way below 0. So yeah, I think every sane person would agree with Keith here. If you're putting money into crypto, you're gambling with it. And I pray that Keith never finds games like Diablo Immortal after reading this. I'm no lawyer, and from what I've read, Keith actually does have a legal team behind this, but to me this sounds like an unwinnable case. It feels like something that they're trying to drum up as much headline and hype for as possible, to get people to rally behind them like other Dogecoin enthusiasts that lost tons of money on it. I don't call them Dogecoin investors because they've just been deluded into thinking it was an investment. They've been scammed, basically. If you put money into Dogecoin, you fell for the scam. So I don't really call it Dogecoin investors, hobbyists perhaps. So I think the whole goal here with Keith and his team is to get this lawsuit out there so a lot of media picks it up, which they have, and a lot of people come forward like, yeah, I also got fucked by Elon Musk here promoting it and this and that. And then hopefully the public pressure will mount to a point where the Elon Musk and the companies will settle with Keith outside of court for whatever undisclosed amount. I don't think there's any law firm or any human being on the planet that actually thinks Keith is going to win $258 billion here. And I don't think they're trying to win $258 billion here. They're trying to get some kind of settlement out of court with the pressure that the public can mount. That's my uneducated guess for my little reptile brain. That's what makes sense to me. This is truly a David versus Goliath situation here for $258 billion with just, fucking Keith over here versus the wealthiest man in the world. It seems like it's unwinnable. But if he has a team behind it, then they must have some kind of strategy, because there's no self-respecting lawyer or law firm that's going to represent a case like this without some kind of plan. And I don't think there's any way they beat Elon Musk with this $258 billion. But who knows? Again, I'm not a lawyer. I haven't passed the bar. Maybe this somehow makes it all the way to court and Keith shows up with the goddamn Avengers of lawyers and they lay a biblical smackdown on Elon Musk and his team. Just fucking Hulkmania goes wild and Keith somehow wins and becomes instantly overnight the wealthiest person in the world. I don't think we're living in that fantasy, but hey, again, I guess it could be possible. No, I'm just kidding. I really don't think it's possible in any dimension in the multiverse. But I guess I could be wrong. Who knows? Anyway, one other thing I'd like to mention. I've seen this story float around a little bit on Twitter, and people get mad at Keith, just calling him like an idiot. It's your fault. You did this. I can't believe he's even bothering to sue Elon Musk. And to a certain extent, I agree. It is entirely Keith's fault that he put money into this without doing even the bare minimum amount of research on what he was putting money into and just taking shitpost tweets as fact. One of the things I saw pop up in one of the articles talking about this is Keith used a couple of Elon Musk tweets as an example for him deceptively promoting Dogecoin as legitimate. And one of them was, Tesla's going to put a literal, or SpaceX is literally going to put a literal Dogecoin on the moon. And like, you have to be stupid to read that tweet and be like, oh my god, they're actually going to do that? Quick, sell this, sell my car. I'm putting it into Dogecoin. Honey, what do you mean you're leaving? Like, yes, there's a lot of self-responsibility there. It is, at the end of the day, Keith's fault that he put into it. But I really cannot help but feel bad for people like Keith who trusted someone they looked up to lead them in the right direction to financial security. Yes, it is Keith's fault, but I can't help but feel bad for him and people like him that bought into it. And yes, this lawsuit is comical. Going for $258 billion out of falling for a shitcoin meme, it's a silly lawsuit. But I, again, just can't help but feel sorry for him, because I'm assuming he lost a lot of money, like a meaningful amount of money in his life, and is just desperately doing anything he can to try and get some of it back. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit, and that's about it. See ya. The day of reckoning is upon us. The Armageddon the Bible warned us about has finally come true. The demon of Dogecoin has taken over Twitter, and he's already made some massive changes internally. It took only a matter of minutes with Elon Musk at the top of the Twitter food chain for him to let WrestleMania run wild and start firing people, including 3 top Twitter executives, the CEO, the CFO, and the chief legal officer. All of them were immediately just let go by Musk. Now, of course, they're not leaving without some compensation. They're getting a lot of money in this firing, but even still, he just took 3 of the top executives and just said, pack your bags. You're going home. But before I get into those changes, I want to go over the reception to this news, because I've already seen some wacky tantrums being thrown about it, and overall people are more divided than my butt cheeks on how to feel about all this. So I want to give my perspective right away. I'll toss my take out there. I think this is just going to be a huge nothing burger that most people are going to forget about in 2 weeks, because there's not going to be any meaningful, noticeable difference in the platform itself with Elon Musk at the helm. I think the problem with Twitter isn't necessarily a platform problem, it's a people problem. It's just fucking dumb, stupid idiots on there, and since everyone has a voice that's amplified because of just how big Twitter is, those things gain steam, gain traction, and then you have people always arguing with each other over the stupidest shit. Biff Cheeseburger over here is talking about how women are sexually abused because it's their own fault for what they're wearing, and then that ends in like a giant viral conflict where people are somehow debating this as if there was ever even like a legitimate argument in the first place, besides just the incoherent ramblings of a raving lunatic. So I don't even think the biggest problem with Twitter is with the platform itself. It really feels to me like the main issue is just the people. Twitter is a more toxic place than Chernobyl. Twitter is like the modern age equivalent of using asbestos in everyday life, just slowly killing your brain cells instead. It's just awful. And I don't know what Elon Musk could possibly do to make it better, but I also don't think there's anything he could do to make it worse. I think currently Twitter is in the worst possible state it could be, and even if he starts unbanning accounts, I don't see that somehow making the platform worse. Like, it really feels like it's genuinely rock bottom, like the bedrock in hell itself. So really, the only way to go is up from here, but I just don't see it happening. I can't imagine a world where all of a sudden Twitter rallies and becomes a positive force for good in the world. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe Elon Musk has some grand vision for the platform that I'm too stupid to see. Though I highly doubt that he has any plan at all besides he thought it'd be a fun joke and he wipes his ass with $40 billion, so why not buy it? So anyway, that's my whole take on it. Oh, I will say though, as I've been very upfront in the past, I'm not a huge Elon Musk fan. I'm not like a diehard Musketeer or whatever the super fans call themselves, or the cult-like following he has with crypto bros who huff copium every single day, replying to all of his tweets, praying that he'll at least give them a crumb of attention to try and save their dying shitcoin. Yeah, overall, I'm just not really an Elon Musk supporter, and even I don't think this is going to somehow plummet Twitter into an even deeper shithole status. But some people really seem to think so. I won't go through a ton of them. In fact, I really only want to look at one. Most of the responses were very pretentious and exaggerated about how this is like going to ruin the entirety of society. This is going to plunge us into a deeper divide and everything's ruined now that Elon Musk has Twitter. But the one I want to focus on is one that I saw floating around all over the place, and it said, "The gates of hell opened on this site tonight." As if they weren't already. There are pedophiles using Twitter openly. Zoophiles that get viral posts talking about how zoophile acceptance is important. Twitter is already the gates of hell, and we are constantly taking a look into the abyss. That's not going to change with Elon Musk at the helm now. It's not like it was in a good state before Elon Musk. It's not like Elon Musk came in here like a burglar in the night and stole the crown jewel of society. He basically came in here like a garbage man and swept up a pile of dog shit and kept it to himself. Nothing is really much worse right now. I don't know what this journalist who made the tweet was seeing. I don't know where they were that all of a sudden Elon Musk taking over suddenly sprung forth all kinds of foul miasma that just spread throughout all of Twitter like a plague. It's exactly the fucking same. The only thing that has changed is internally, and they are big internal changes. By firing these top executives, he's sending a message that he's just gonna run this shit with an iron fist, and he's been very adamant about making Twitter more welcoming to free speech and less censorship. I'm not a fan of censorship, I've made that clear. I have an overall dislike for censorship, so it's not like I'm exactly crying over him firing people that were very for it. So him firing these people doesn't make me upset. It seems to have made other people upset, which surprises me considering most people don't like the state of Twitter pre-Musk anyway. So I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to change course and experiment with other options to make Twitter somehow marginally better. He said in a Twitter post that he's going to be forming a content moderation council with widely diverse viewpoints and that no major content decisions or account reinstatements will happen before the council convenes. And so far, this is the only strategy he's revealed publicly with this team that he's going to be setting up. And I guess we'll see how it all plays out. I, again, don't think this is going to lead to any massive changes, positive or negative, to the user experience on Twitter or the platform as a whole. I guess we'll see, though. I'm always up to be pleasantly surprised. Well, if it's positive. So yeah, that's about it. See ya. I really didn't think Twitter would ever have a stupider idea than super follows, that paid monthly subscription to your favorite Twitter account. I thought that was going to be like the magnum opus of incompetence for the site. But Elon Musk took over now, and his neurons are working overtime. He's rubbing the Dogecoins in his brain together and creating some absolute insanity when it comes to bad ideas for monetization. So let's talk about his new $8 a month subscription for check marks on Twitter. Elon Musk has only been the head of it for like less than a week and is already proving me wrong. I said he wouldn't make like any change whatsoever. It'd say exactly the same. But dude is fucking cleaning house at the company and implementing some absolute brain dead ideas. So I'm sure you guys all saw he's looking to charge like $20 a month for verification. After Stephen King's like, nah, I'm out, he started haggling with Stephen King in this public embarrassment, like a humiliation fetish from Elon Musk. He's like, oh, bro, but what about $8 a month? So now he's rolling with $8 a month. Here, actually, I'll just pull up the tweet so you can read it. He like starts groveling at Stephen King's feet. Like, no, what do you mean you're leaving? Yeah, we need to pay the bills somehow. Twitter cannot rely entirely on advertisers. How about $8? I don't know how he wasn't embarrassed posting that publicly. That's so shameless. But yeah, so that's the idea, charging $8 to keep the check mark, as well as opening it up to anyone who can pay $8 a month and have a check mark. Oh, here it is. Lords and peasant system, power to the people for $8 a month. So I think most people can sniff out some problems right away with the idea, and Elon Musk himself. So Rubius point this out. What happens when a random user pays $8, changes his display name to Elon Musk using your same profile pic, starts tweeting like you, verified checks exist so people know they follow the real person. He doesn't even address that, he just said it already happens, which he's just blatantly wrong about. There's currently, at least not from the last time I checked, which was 2 hours ago, there is no verified Elon Musk scamming accounts, but there are people like impersonating him without the check mark. Whereas this can have verified scammers. But regardless, not even the biggest takeaway here. I think anyone who pays $8 for a check mark is an absolute certified fucking loser. It should only be used by like companies, maybe. I could see that like companies or businesses wanting it. Individuals, I think that shit is trash. Like you are basically just begging to be bullied. Like that's like an elevated chat, but on Twitter. That's just a -8 in every reply. I would not take a check mark from anyone seriously anymore. It would be too embarrassing. But yeah, his whole thing is like, it's going to... Actually, here, let me just pull it up instead of put words in his mouth. Here. You get priority in replies, mentions, and searches, which is essential to defeat spam and scams. Which I cannot believe he's that out of touch. This will only increase that because anyone can do it now. So now you can have verified scams, which are going to take priority in the replies and in the searches. I'm not paying $8 a month for the checkmark, I'll tell you right now. That is no shot. That is so dumb. It is more productive to burn your $8 a month. You are getting no value from it. So when that happens, there'll be like 1,000 moist criticals everywhere, and they will all be in the priority scamming people. So it's only going to increase that problem. And you don't even get an ad-free experience, you just get half as many ads. So imagine paying $8 a month for a stupid little Boy Scout badge and then still getting ads. How silly. This is like actual pay pig behavior where you just pay someone to get nothing in return except insults. $8 for a check mark. I see why he's doing it, because now he just paid $44 billion for this pile of shit, and there is no way it's making money, not even close, so he's just scrapping together every shitty idea to try and squeeze a little money into it. And he also has a problem right now where advertisers are pulling out. So not only is he losing all of his, like, members in the company, the employees that he's firing en masse, but the advertisers themselves are starting to pull out because they have no faith in Elon actually steering the ship. So he can't rely on them anymore, which he publicly admits to Stephen King. So he's just trying everything to make something back on this absolute massive shitpost that was so costly. Man made a $44 billion joke and is starting to regret it like a Darman video. This shit is super follows on crack. Oh, that is such a... I keep forgetting about super chats. Like, super chats is absolutely inviting wedgies into your life. If you are... sorry, super follows. Super follows invites, like, actual swirlies in the bathroom from the football team. If anyone sees that you are a super follower of someone on Twitch, you will never hear the end of it. You are going to be absolutely bullied on Twitter forever. So people don't do it. You never see super followers. Because you're paying for fucking nothing. And that is exactly what the checkmark's about to be with the $8 a month. It's so beautiful. I want to quickly explain superfollows a bit more since I'm aware that most of you probably don't even know what it is. It's a system Twitter rolled out where you can do a monthly paid subscription to your favorite Twitter accounts, and you get like a little badge that highlights you that you're a super follower publicly so you can stand out in conversation, and you get bonus tweets. You probably haven't seen any super followers because no one uses it because it's downright embarrassing. This is just like going out in public and asking to be spit on. If someone sees you're a super follower on Twitter, good luck having anything you're talking about be taken seriously. And this is what I feel the checkmark will become with this new system if it goes into place. Because you're paying for nothing, and it publicly shows that you are wasting your money. So of course you're just going to be insulted for it, and I think that's going to be a deterrent for people buying it. Like, I just don't see why anyone would when you don't get anything in return for it except for a public badge that lets people know you're wasting your money. Oh, to all complainers, please continue complaining, but it'll cost $8. Fucking epic. That's a fat own right there, noobs, from the mastermind of memes. Let that sink in. I mean, I wish he would have just shut it down. Maybe this is like a long-term play to like slowly wean people off of it, which would be pretty big brain. But it would have been better if he just like, yeah, I regret it, I'm shutting it down. That would have been fantastic. But now he's just gonna go out sad here with this one. Just a way to make money. Yeah, it's a desperate way of making money. One that I don't see going super well. The only people that are gonna use it are people that do it to troll or scam. Why the fuck is a normal person gonna care about having a check mark on their name? Yeah, I'm Biff Cheeseburger from North Baptist University. I want to be verified on Twitter. I'll pay $8 a month for it. I saw, like, even the Elon meat writers that pretty much support everything are kind of scratching their heads here. Because for $8 a month, you're getting nothing. You get priority in replies, yeehaw, so you can say L plus ratio quicker than most people and have it at the top. Like, you don't get anything out of that subscription. They keep comparing it to things like Netflix or Hulu subs, but think of all the content you get from anything else with a subscription. Fucking RuneScape, you get an entire thousands hours worth of gameplay. World of Warcraft, and then any streaming service ever. You get fucking tons of content. On Twitter, you get a check mark, you get a badge. It's worthless. Like, if it was a one-time payment, I could see some people doing it. But a subscription, a monthly subscription to have that, nobody's doing that, except for businesses, maybe. No shot. And you don't even get an ad-free experience, so it's even worse than, like, anything else, like, alternative. O.J. Simpson finally getting his checkmark. True! O.J. Simpson made that post to Elon. Now that Elon's got Twitter under his control, maybe now I can get verified. And he can for only $8. So we finally got the real OJ with that check mark. You can be like OJ Simpson on Twitter. Let's go. Fucking huge. So I can make fake government accounts for only $8. We were talking about this on the podcast, and someone in the chat made like a really fun suggestion of just impersonating foreign policy like higher ups. Because you can do this infinitely, right? Even if you have to verify via photo ID and you get banned for impersonation, you can just do it again. You can just keep doing this over and over again and keep changing your handle to like anyone with a position of power and just going fucking hog wild. He said the $8 will help fund content creators. Is there any info on this? Oh yeah, he did say that. No, that just seems like buzzwords to get people more on his side because people love that kind of sentiment. I don't know how the fuck that's going to fund content creators on Twitter. Like, what the fuck is a Twitter content creator? Like just anyone with a big following on Twitter? I think the payable verification at this point is meant to reduce bots and not meant to signify that an account belongs to a public figure. Yeah, but it's not going to stop anything with bots or scams or anything. Because it's open to anyone. You can just pay $8 a month. It's just going to be a little costly to promote your scams, but you're going to get more out of it because it's going to fool more people because of the check mark. And since it floats to the top of the replies now, and since it's going to be the first things that come up when you search things, scams are going to be much more prevalent. Assuming it goes as he has it stated so far. Maybe he has fail-safes in mind, but he certainly hasn't said that yet. How will this stop bots? Bots already exist now, and when you implement buying verification, you'll have the same bots plus easily verified bots. I don't know, like, he's not very in touch. It doesn't, like, I don't see how this stops spam or bots. It seems to me to only increase spam and scams, but I guess we'll see. Like, it doesn't seem to stop bots. The bots are still there, and now some of them can be verified. When I was growing up, I was an extremely religious kid. I stole my friend's Digimon cards in 4th grade and I never forgave myself. I was convinced I was going to be banished to the Shadow Realm, sent straight to hell. I knew that I had just broken one of the 10 commandments, but I couldn't, fight the demon that told me to take those Digimon cards. I thought the Lord was up in heaven wiggling his finger saying, "No, no, no, Charles, enjoy your time with Lucifer for this." But then I remembered what I was always taught, that the Lord could forgive any sin, no matter how great. But now that I'm an adult, I've learned that that's just not the truth, because there is one sin that is unforgivable, and that's cringe. And nobody is more cringe than Elon Musk. Now, I know I've made quite a few videos about Twitter and Elon Musk over the last month or so, but that's just because there's been so much silliness going on with it. But people keep thinking I'm some mindless drone who hates on him blindly for no reason, and that's just not the truth. I always give credit where credit's due. I've talked about this on stream, but I'll mention it quickly in this video before getting into the actual meat of the topic. Elon Musk seems to have been taking a hardline stance against the open pedophiles that were using Twitter unimpeded for years. I read a report recently that he's banned thousands of accounts from these predators that were openly sharing explicit child materials on Twitter. Those accounts are now gone, and I think that is a wonderful, great thing that he's done. I never have any problem giving appreciation for good things done by people that I might not like. Like, I don't just assume everything that someone does is evil just because I'm not a huge fan of them. Now, getting on to today's topic. Elon Musk has embarrassed himself publicly yet again. He was invited on stage at Dave Chappelle's most recent comedy show and got booed. Extremely booed. It sounded like when Valve revealed Artifact at E3.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the richest man in the world.
There's so many boos, it sounds like a stock sound effect from a cartoon. I was surprised tomatoes weren't flying during this. Like, there are, of course, some cheers mixed in there, especially from, like, the cameraman and the people next to him, but the overwhelming amount of the noise is boos. And it's not surprising, regardless of what your political beliefs are, the question remains, why is Elon Musk at a comedy show? He's not a comedian, he's not even entertaining. Every interview he's ever done, every show he's ever been a part of, he completely lacks charisma and he just doesn't really tell jokes in general. Like, on Twitter he tells jokes, but those are stolen from replies. I actually saw him do that in real time once on stream when we were just going through like some latest Twitter drama. He had literally taken the top reply to a tweet about Kathy Griffin being banned, saying, well, she was actually banned for impersonating a comedian. Elon Musk took that reply and then 30 minutes later said the exact same thing. Just stole it. He's like the Amy Schumer of Twitter. He also, of course, doesn't make his own memes, he just steals those too, so he's not exactly like an entertaining person. Why is he going to be like the guest at a Dave Chappelle show? Like, he's not going to go up there and tell jokes, and he clearly didn't have like a script or anything because he really flounders here. Like, this was rough. This was brutal to listen to. I also don't think it helped that Dave Chappelle just introduced him as the richest man in the world. Like, what kind of response are you expecting there? Like, cheers like, oh, whoa, 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 he's got a lot of money, whoa, he's got a lot of money, wee, that's what I came here to see, a rich guy, and no comedy. Like, I don't know why that intro is supposed to get people hyped. Like, okay, he's the world's richest man. And what's he gonna do? Is he here to make us laugh? Or is he just here to be like a circus freak? Like, wow, look at this guy, the world's richest man. Well, hey, why are you not applauding him for being rich?
Cheers and booze, I see. Elon.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, I just don't get what the plan was here. Elon Musk doesn't say much of anything. He just kind of stands there awkwardly looking down sometimes like a kid at homecoming who didn't get a date. And then he says, "Hey, Dave," and that's it. He's like pretty much silent for most of this while Dave Chappelle desperately tries to ease the discomfort. It's just fucking weird.
Weren't expecting this, were you?
It sounds like some of them people you fired are in the audience. Hey, wait a minute. Those of you booing.
Dave Chappelle gets some laughs out of the crowd, hoping that they can then move on from this situation, but the damage is already done. They just go right back to booing. I don't know what his thought process was here, bringing Elon Musk out, as if that was like going to go over well. It's a comedy show and he is not entertaining. Like, set aside the political beliefs or anything of what the audience might disagree with Musk on. The fact of the matter is, the guy is just not entertaining. So why bring him out to a comedy show? Like, he's already come out here and now has killed the vibe of the entire atmosphere, like a cop showing up to a frat party to shut it down.
Tough road ahead, like sounds like. But you notice one thing, all those people are booing, and I'm just pointing out the obvious. You have terrible seats, and I understand. All coming from way up there.
This is when it gets super sad. Dave Chappelle starts fighting for Elon Musk's honor like a K-pop stan going to defend him in the comment section. So Dave's diving in front of all of the boos that are being tossed his way like he's deflecting bullets from the president. And he just shits on his own audience for not liking Elon Musk popping out here like a jump scare. He says that the majority of people booing are the ones that have terrible seats, thus implying it's poor people that are booing him. Like, what the fuck, man? That's just like a lame joke, like, in general. I understand that you're probably like a little panicked here and very uncomfortable with this situation because the guy that you invited up, your buddy, isn't being received well by your audience, but why are you shitting on them for it? It was a stupid idea to bring him out in general. Even if he wasn't like a controversial figure, if you just bring up someone that's not even associated with comedy, they're probably not going to be received well at a fucking comedy show. Like, it's just that simple. Like, he could have called up like, hey, everyone, and now introducing the world's best plumber. This guy's helped me with so many of my toilets. Like, okay, and why is he here? Like, why are we supposed to get excited for that? But at least in that hypothetical situation, the plumber has a chance of being, like, fun to listen to with jokes. Everyone already knows Elon Musk can't tell jokes, so there is literally nothing to even be remotely excited about other than, like, hey, he's got a lot of money. Like, what? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Dave, what should I say?
Don't say nothing.
Okay.
It'll only spoil the moment. Do you hear that sound, Elon? That's the sound of pending civil unrest.
Oh, that desperate Dave, what should I say? Oh my god, it's like in middle school when you're giving that class presentation, you're super nervous and you start freezing up. Oh, fuck me. Dave, fucking help, please. What should I say? Tell me what to say. Like, what a disaster. Now, we talked about this on the podcast, and Kaya made a good point. What should have happened here if they really wanted to integrate Musk into this, it should have been treated like a roast session. The guy is not good with, like, scripts or anything. Look no further than SNL when he fucking bombed on that. But you could treat it like a roast session where Dave Chappelle makes jokes about him, you know, all that, and Elon Musk takes it on the chin. It makes him look humble and like a good sport. But this is just a disaster. And speaking of disasters, the first 2 accounts that posted footage of this got deleted. Now, whether or not they were banned for sharing this embarrassing moment of Musk, or if they deleted the accounts themselves, there's no telling. But the first 2 accounts that posted this video are no longer on Twitter, which is a little weird. I'm going to hope they deleted it themselves and weren't banned for showing this video. Because if so, that would be a huge red flag on the enforcement of Twitter's policies, because this violates no rules. This is just showcasing a really embarrassing moment from Elon Musk and Dave Chappelle here. Like, that's not against the Twitter terms. There's no reason why that should lead to a ban. So I'm hoping that their accounts were just deleted, and that them being banned is just a conspiracy. But there's no telling. What is confirmed, though, is Elon Musk made this tweet about 2 or 3 hours after being booed off stage at Chappelle's performance. Now, whether or not this is in response to getting booed, I don't know for sure. But he said the woke mind virus is either defeated or nothing else matters. So he leaves the stage with tears in his eyes, his ego shattered, and then shortly after, this tweet comes up. I don't know if this was just weirdly timed pandering or if he's actually blaming woke people for getting booed off stage, But to me, it feels like he really believes the only people that would boo him are woke people. My man, you were at a Dave Chappelle show. That is not a woke audience. You can't keep falling back on this woke boogeyman and just writing off people that don't like you as being plagued by wokeness. You went to a comedy show, you're not a comedian, and you're not entertaining. Of course that wasn't going to be received well in any universe. Oh, also, I think it's only fair I mention how the show actually wraps up. Elon Musk gets into a crouch position, makes a huge gesture, gets the mic and says, "I'm rich, bitch." And that's it. And he actually butchered that line, by the way. He delivered it like there was peanut butter all in his mouth, so he couldn't actually get all of the words out properly. And then the music plays and they walk off. It was rough. This just goes to show you no amount of money in the world can prevent you from being cringe. That's about it. See ya. No need for dilly-dally, you already know what we're here to talk about. Twitter is the gift that just keeps on giving, like a birthday party clown that never runs out of ribbon to pull out of his thumb, and it makes me continue to burp and clap while smiling. It's a beautiful disaster, a blunder that never ends. It reminds me of like that cheese rolling competition that happens every year in the UK, where they throw a cheese wheel down like a really steep hill, and people just throw themselves down the hill, hurting themselves the whole way, tumbling, chasing after that cheese wheel. That's Twitter, constantly hurting itself in pursuit of that cheese. And in this case, it's the big cheese, the biggest cheese, money. Twitter is a platform that just burns money forever. And with Elon Musk at the helm now, it is desperate to start turning some kind of profit, or at least mitigate the losses as best as possible. Because obviously you don't want to own a business that just keeps taking spaghetti out of your bank account here forever and burning it. So they've been coming up with all kinds of different plans in order to try and make Twitter generate some level of money. And I've followed it pretty closely. I've made quite a few videos going over a lot of the silly stuff that's happened recently, but I haven't talked about it very much, even though they have made some decisions that I still think are comically bad. For example, you can now no longer even access any Twitter content unless you log in. So if you try and read a tweet, watch a Twitter video, or anything like that, and you're not logged in on desktop, you just get taken right to the sign-in page, which I think is a luxury afforded only to Twitter. That is the only platform that can get away with that. Imagine if you went on YouTube and it wouldn't allow you to watch any videos until you signed in. It'd kill the platform. But Twitter is more addicting than heroin, and the people that are hooked on the product perpetually need their fix. It reminds me of Bane from Batman, how he constantly has those tubes that are filtering that juice, that venom into his body in order for him to live. That's a lot of people's relationship with Twitter. They fucking need that poison in their life. So if they're forced to log in to even view anything on the platform, they'll do it without a second thought, really, with a smile on their face. But it's really the only platform that can get away with it. They're the only platform afforded that luxury. Other platforms like YouTube, again, for example, would absolutely see a drastic decrease in the amount of traffic that they get. Platforms like Reddit, too, I imagine if you have to log in to read anything on the platform, would also see a significant drop-off. But we're not here to talk about that change. Instead, I want to focus on the big change from today. And that is Elon Musk finally targeting data scrapers, which is a legitimate problem. I want to make this very clear up front. Data scraping is actually a problem. I didn't realize how big of a problem it was for so many companies until I watched Mudahar's video on it today. And data scraping is extremely expensive, and there is so many people exploiting a lot of like API and just in general a lot of shady shit going on with data scraping, that it is something that does require a solution. But this is Elon Musk's solution, and it's basically just kill the host as well as the parasite. So he's imposing a limitation on all accounts. So he says, to address extreme levels of data scraping and system manipulation, we've applied the following temporary limits. Verified accounts are limited to reading 6,000 posts a day, unverified accounts up to 600 posts per day, and new unverified accounts to 300 posts per day. Now, to be clear, this just means if you see this many posts. It's not about how many times you post. If you post something, it counts as 1 on your daily Twitter allowance. But if you scroll past a post, that still counts. So anything you scroll by, anything at all on Twitter counts as posts. So if you scroll through like 10 comments, that's 10 of your 300 posts for the day if you're a new unverified account. So people have been speedrunning to see how long it takes to reach this limit. And right now I believe this is the world record, 2 minutes and 33 seconds. But keep in mind, this any percent route here is about 2 minutes worth of time lost to setting up the account itself. So the speedrun goes from actual nothing, you don't have an account to then going through the captchas, going through the codes, the emails, and all of that. And it's about 2 minutes to set up your account, and then the other 33 seconds is spent scrolling. And then this is what you get at the very end of your journey here. Rate limit exceeded. And most people get this within the first couple of minutes if it's a new unverified account. Now for older unverified accounts, it goes up to 600 per day. So double that. You basically get like about 10 minutes. At being very generous, you'd get about 10 minutes worth of scrolling for your unverified account before you get the rate limit exceeded. Now, if you have like the Twitter Blue Boy Scout badge, 6,000 posts per day is probably what a normal person will be fine with. I don't think many people, aside from like actual hard addicts and power users of Twitter, are going to scroll past 6,000 posts per day. So that one probably isn't going to give any Twitter Blue enthusiasts a big problem. But the other two basically restrict everyone's access to the site to only a handful of minutes. He does say that this is just like a temporary thing, so a band-aid for the data scraping problem. Not sure exactly how long they're going to engage in this social experiment of self-destruction, but he is saying up front that it is temporary, so I guess this is just going to be a matter of waiting to see how long it continues for. Now, this is good and bad, because I've been very vocal about how awful I think Twitter is as a platform for the mental health of everyone that uses it. So anything that gets people off the platform for an extended period of time I think is a good thing. It gets them doing other things that aren't just brain rot on Twitter. But, of course, as a platform, it does provide real value to a lot of people as well. So for a lot of like businesses or artists or anything like that that rely on Twitter in order for marketing or in order to get their content out, it's very rough because so many people are going to hit their rate and not see what you're posting, or you won't see what they're posting if it's something that you actively check in on. And of course, Twitter is invaluable when it comes to like real world important events. Like a lot of times that news breaks on Twitter and people follow it there. But with the new Twitter allowance here for what you're allowed to see a day, you'd have a very hard time keeping up with a developing story, especially like, let's say it's in your area, so it'd be like really important to you. If you hit your Twitter allowance, you exceed your rate, you now get cut off from that information. So there is like an actual problem here with this system. It's a bit deeper than just go touch grass now, loser. This is a good thing. You're free. You can go touch grass. There is like an actual underlying issue with this whole format. So it is a big issue overall, and you can see why this would kill the platform. If you can only use it for, 10 minutes per day, it's not exactly going to be something that stands the test of time. It becomes less of a social media platform and more of like a mobile game daily quest that you do in a couple of minutes and then you're done for the day, which is exactly what Mudahar said in his video, and he's right on the nose with it. That's 100% correct. The number one thing that online companies are salivating over is how to keep you on their platform. It's the reason YouTube has such a robust recommended algorithm. It's constantly feeding you videos it thinks you want to watch, because if it's things you want to watch, you stay on the platform for a longer period of time. All of these companies are fighting for your time. They want to keep you there as long as possible. With this new Twitter policy, they're now driving you away from the platform as quickly as possible. So they're trying to target data scraping to solve that problem, but they're giving themselves a new problem, which is nobody's going to be able to use the service anymore. You are driving users off of the platform in a matter of minutes for the vast majority of your user base. They can't spend time on your platform even if they wanted to, because you are limiting the amount of time they can spend there drastically. Again, unverified accounts can't spend very long on the platform at all, a handful of minutes per day. So they're going to go to competing services. So it should be pretty obvious why Twitter would likely be buried if this becomes their permanent solution to the data scraping problem. It won't be a site that's able to exist anymore because it won't have a user base left, because they literally would not be able to use the platform because they'll hit their rates so quickly. It's what's been happening all day to so many accounts. And Elon Musk recognized that as well. He must have seen that so many people were instantly exceeding their rate and being cut off from the service, so he increased it to 8K, 800, and 400. That 400 makes pretty much no difference. That is negligible. That'll give you an extra 5 seconds worth of scrolling, so that's who gives a shit. The 800 gives you maybe another couple of minutes of scrolling, and then the 8,000 doesn't really matter because that wasn't the biggest issue with the change. Or maybe I'm dreadfully underestimating just how addicted people are to Twitter. Like maybe people are scrolling past more than 6,000 or 8,000 posts per day. But regardless, he increased the limit because so many people were hitting it so quickly. As I was recording this video, he increased it again to 10,000, 1,000, and then 500. The 500 is still, once again, not a big difference. You're still going to have to be rationing your time on the platform to make sure you don't see unnecessary tweets that take away from your allowance. So that is, again, still not going to be a big deal. It adds maybe an extra 3 seconds to the speedrun route. The 1,000 for unverified accounts that have existed for a while, that might be, you know, like let's just be super generous and say that it gives you like a full hour worth of scrolling on Twitter if you do it at like a very leisurely pace and you painstakingly read everything you scroll by. Like maybe that'll give you like an hour. But then once again, increasing the Twitter Blue to 10,000, this is just starting to highlight that I might just be really out of touch with how addicted people really are. Because again, I thought 6 or 8K was probably not really the big issue with this because I didn't think most Twitter Blue subscribers would be that deep into fucking doom scrolling forever. But I mean, he's increasing the Twitter Blue one again to 10K. So I mean, there must be an issue on that front as well. But regardless, you can see that the rate limiting of everyone on the platform is starting to cause some kind of internal panic. Clearly the goal is to combat the bad actors with data scraping, but it's coming at the cost of killing the entire platform for everybody else. It's like hunting a mosquito with a bazooka. You'll kill the mosquito, but everything else around it too. And in this case, it's your users that aren't paying for Twitter Blue, which is the vast, vast majority of your user base. It's obviously trying to push all of the unverified accounts to paying Twitter Blue subscribers. It's trying to convert them into handing over some money out of their wallet so that way they continue to spend all day on Twitter like they're used to. So all the goals are pretty obvious here. Obviously trying to stop losing as much money as they are to data scraping, and also trying to convert the people that aren't willing to drop some doubloons on Twitter into people that will pay money for a Twitter Blue subscription, so that way they can unlock the, you know, bigger allowance for the site. They can spend more time on there. They get to unlock more time with Twitter. I don't know how successful that's going to be. Hopefully it won't be at all. I really don't see a world where people hit their rate and then just immediately like grab their fucking credit card because they are scratching at their neck for more Twitter immediately. I hope that isn't the case. But regardless, should this system carry over for a long period of time, I really do see it being the legitimate end of the site. Again, most people aren't going to be paying for a service that has been free for as long as it's existed. So I just don't see a world where all of a sudden they're going to be okay with it now. But like Mudahar, I recognize that data scraping is a problem that requires a solution. And somehow Elon Musk found the worst solution to the problem. I don't have the answers though. So don't look at me to, you know, cough up something genius here to stop data scraping without ruining the entire platform for all of the users that aren't paying for it. Because I don't know how to even begin combating it. But surely there's got to be something else that doesn't immediately nuke the whole platform. So I guess we'll just have to wait to see how everything continues developing here, but I did think this was actually pretty fascinating. Twitter is one of the few platforms that repeatedly makes decisions that I think are counterintuitive to long-term health of it. But it's still around, it hasn't died yet, and maybe it'll endure this change as well. There's no telling, but just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya. Lord, forgive me because I'm about to sin again. I have sworn time and time again that I would do my best to resist making fun of the platform formerly known as Twitter, but I can't help myself. They keep giving me little layups that I can't help but just finish at the rim on. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. I just made a video making fun of the Twitter rebrand. It's now just called X, the letter X and nothing else, which, as I said, is very embarrassing because it sounds like something on Xbox Live in a Call of Duty lobby from 2009 where every 12-year-old thought having X's in their name was cool, and I thought I had finally got it all out of my system. There's no more jokes left to make about this low-hanging fruit. Until just now, with breaking news, they released their new official tagline, and I couldn't believe it. My jaw was literally on the floor. I was more stunned by this tagline than I was with the ending to Inception when I first watched it. I shit you not. The report said that their tagline was Blaze Your Glory. And I didn't believe them at first. I thought this was propaganda because surely no one is that uncool. What does this even mean? Blaze Your Glory. That sounds like a meaningless nothing burger that an anime protagonist would have shouted in a 2004 throwaway anime. I just can't believe someone could be this lame. I don't think evolution would allow for someone to be this uncool. We didn't evolve over the course of millions of years to reach a point where someone has made it to the apotheosis of cringe. I just don't believe we're there yet. Yet, all of the evidence points to the contrary. Elon Musk might legitimately be the lamest person to ever exist to think that this is cool. Blaze your glory. What does that even mean? It sounds like a sexual euphemism, like, oh, fuck, I'm up late, lotion on my hands, and I'm blazing my glory right now. I actually went to the App Store to check this for myself because I thought I was being lied to. I couldn't believe we existed in such a cursed dimension that would allow someone to think that this was cool. But it's true, it's real. That is the tagline for the platform formerly known as Twitter. It is Blaze Your Glory. That is worse than those old Discord cringe messages that would pop up when you try and launch the program where it was like, calculating RAR meme threshold, need to construct additional pylons for optimal memeing. Quick, get to cover, Wumpus is a fire in his laser. Watch out, Springle just deleted all your base. Your base no longer belong to us. That old garbage, this is worse. Blaze Your Glory is like 50 times worse. I have legitimately been giggling about this for at least 10 minutes, which is why I'm making a whole video once again making fun of this platform, even though I have sworn that I would stop, like, control myself, the urge, but I can't fight it. It's like that scene in Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves, where he gets tied up by the two girls, and he's like, I didn't fuck you, you fucked me. You came into my house and you sucked my cock. You sucked my dick. It was free pizza. That's how I feel right now. This is free pizza. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how could I not make fun of this? My glory is blazing just thinking about this shit. It's so wild to me. And I really just can't get over his obsession with the letter X. He named one of their fucking children X. And then a couple of other letters here that he must have seen during like a Steam Guard check to make sure that you're not a robot. Like, I understand that it has some kind of connotation with some kind of fighter jet or something, but once again, it's probably chosen by Elon Musk just because the letter X is in it. And for fucking 20 years now, over 2 decades, he's wanted X.com. Like, he wanted that to be PayPal originally. They shot that down for obvious reason because very clearly it seems like a porn site. But now he's got fucking full reign, unthrottled, uncircumcised, and unhinged. So he's got X and he's letting it all rip. There is no one but yes men surrounding Elon Musk just saying, go wild, brother. And he is. The glory will not stop being set ablaze right now at the X headquarters. Just a few nights ago, they set up some kind of X sign, like a light beaming off of a sign to the building, like it was the goddamn bat signal, but for fucking cringe. It was just like the letter X on a building. It looked horrible. It was disruptive. It was awful. It is just a non-stop roller coaster of embarrassment. I really don't know how it's possible to be that uncool. Like, it's incomprehensible to me. I grew up as a fucking loser, a weirdo, for sure. But even I would know that this is so embarrassing. My cheeks would never stop being red. I would never show my face out of shame. I would legitimately be in a paper bag for the rest of my life. I wouldn't let people see my face if I was the guy that kept doing this shit with X and Blaze Your Glory. The shame would just be far too much to even put into words. I can't help but make fun of it. I really can't. It's begging for it. I think there is a chance Elon Musk has some kind of humiliation fetish. Like, the more people say that it's lame, the more he wants to be insulted for it, it feels like. This seems deliberate. This can't be accidental. No one is this accidentally uncool. It's a plague because it's infecting other people into being just as lame. There's a lot of people that will just defend anything Elon Musk does with the platform, and then get mad when people make fun of it. So it's not just him, he is infecting and spreading the lame virus. He's like the Axe body spray for online losers, where a lot of people will flock to him as like this group feeling of being like successful and cool, and like they're always going to battle for their leader Elon Musk, which makes no sense. Again, I don't really care about Twitter's success or its failure. I'm just laughing at the goofy decisions made along the way. So I'm just going to bring up one tweet here. It's not even this person in particular I have a problem with or anything. This is just the general attitude about how when I make fun of it, I'm just coping with the success of Twitter under the leadership of Elon Musk. I don't give a fuck. If Twitter burns to the ground tomorrow, I don't care. If it's 20 times more successful tomorrow, I don't care. I think the platform sucks. I'd prefer if it was in the dirt, buried 6 feet under. I think it's been a net negative for the entire world. But overall, its presence isn't something that disturbs me or makes me upset. I'm not coping with its success. I'm making fun of it. So even if it's 20 times more successful tomorrow, I will still make fun of it. You know what else is extremely successful? Selling soiled, used panties online to degenerates. I'll make fun of that too, but it is successful. It's very successful. A lot of women make a ton of money doing that. But just like X, blaze your glory, it's something to laugh at because it's so fucking silly. It's so goofy. So no, this has nothing to do with jealousy over a platform's success or its failure or anything. It is just legitimately comical nonsense along the way that is something to point and laugh at as a spectacle and shoot some spitballs at. It's a circus, and the clowns are dancing, honking their nose and making me giggle. It's just not that deep. There's really nothing to psychoanalyze here. You don't need to be holding up Rorschachs to me in order to get down to the bottom of it. It's just super simple. So just stop being so upset when people make fun of some goofy shit like this. Keep your glory blazing, take a step back, and share in the laughs. It's just that simple. You're not on the board of directors or anything. You don't have any like actual investment into the company. So whether it's successful or it's not, it shouldn't matter to you. Just have fun. Like, just enjoy the silly ride that we're all on here with watching all of these goofy things unfold in front of us. Maybe it'll end up making the platform 1,000 times more successful and becomes extremely profitable. And maybe, 10 years from now, Blaze Your Glory's on t-shirts. It's even got its own little mascot, like fucking Ultra Lord out of Jimmy Neutron, the Glory Blazer or something. Like, maybe it's the biggest thing in the world, but it will still always be a fucking goofy, uncool thing. Always worthy of being joked about. But anyway, I won't go on too much longer about it. That's really about it. May your glory be forever ablaze, my ex-friends. That's about it. So yeah. Let me go ahead and ease your worry. Don't panic. I haven't fallen off the wagon. I'm not back to the addiction of clowning on Twitter / Elon Musk and a lot of the unbelievable cringe that he indulges in. That's not the purpose of the video today. I know I've made a lot of videos about that platform, X, formerly known as Twitter, which no one calls it X for good reason. It's an absolutely atrocious name. I'm already getting off on a tangent here because making fun of Twitter is more addictive than heroin and Magic the Gathering card collecting. Like, there's just something about it. It just feels so good to insult, to spit on it. But again, that's not what I'm doing today. So don't worry. I made you a solemn vow, a promise, that I wouldn't just keep making fun of that platform. I want to talk about what they're trying to do right now with streaming because I legitimately do think it is a good thing. But we are still going to sprinkle on some seasoning here of some insults because the very first test stream for Elon Musk on Twitter did not go overly well. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, Elon Musk has been making a big hoopla about making Twitter a strong streaming platform. He really wants it to be this all-encompassing hub for content to keep you hooked like cigarettes. So it'll have a little bit of everything, and that includes gaming streams. So in order to test it, he went live last night to do some Diablo 4 runs. And boy howdy, it didn't go swimmingly, I'd say. I got to watch most of it unfold live on stream last night with Matt and Danny, and it was a confusing mess of a stream, but I do think the idea of bringing streaming to Twitter is a solid idea. I have long been an outspoken advocate for competition, and in the streaming space, it's been mainly dominated by Twitch for a long time. Of course, they've been floundering a little bit here. Unfortunately, SpongeBob has been whipping up some nasty patties of some ideas at the Twitch headquarters, so they haven't been really crushing it at the top, which has led to the rise of other competitors that are legitimately popping off. Like, they're not nearly to Twitch's level, but they are competitive in the market. So things like Kick, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, not so much. Facebook is a place where streaming goes to die. That's just kind of like a sad, pathetic joke of a streaming platform, but it does exist and it does pull some numbers. Point is, streaming has become far more competitive over the last couple of years, and now Twitter is looking to have a strong streaming competitor as well. And overall, I just think it's a good thing because as more competition arises, it forces all of the other platforms to improve. So mainly YouTube and Twitch, which are the two biggest. If there's more competition out there, there's more reason for them to improve their service, so overall competition is always the best thing for consumers. So even though the first stream was rocky and Elon Musk is the furthest thing from a streamer, it at least is a proof of concept that shows that they do want to actually make streaming prevalent on the site, which again, I think is helpful to the entire streaming ecosystem because then the top dogs can't just endlessly coast and stagnate and refuse to improve their platform. They'll need to, hopefully, assuming Twitter becomes a legitimate competitor with streaming. So let's go ahead and take a look at how Elon's first stream unfolded, because it's a bit of a head-scratcher.
The candle's the size of him.
That is a massive candle. That looks like something out of Dark Souls.
What is that?
That's cool. I kind of want one.
That's like...
We're going to watch his house burn down in real time.
He told his assistant he wanted a candle, and they were like, "How much should it cost?" And he was like, "I don't know, $45,000." Okay.
How much do candles go for? Like $400? I just think should be good enough. Breathing directly into the mic now.
Yep. 5-foot candle. Let's see.
He's actively trying to suck all the oxygen out of the room.
God damn, these are big.
This looks like a satanic ritual room.
It really does.
There's nothing on the walls. It's just empty with a giant candle.
He's really breathing into that mic.
He fixed the flicker, though, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the flicker is not fixed. It was just in the pause screen.
Yeah.
It's back.
Where is chat on Twitter streaming?
I'm watching on my phone. If you just go vertical, you can see it at the bottom, but it's off. Chat is off.
Oh, it's off. Oh, he turned chat off?
Yeah, he's a coward.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't want to get bullied. That's like
coward.
his worst nightmare. Why is he streaming this right now?
I don't know.
Why is he doing this?
How tall is a standard desk on a table? It definitely is not. It's 100% not on a table. You can see it right now.
Table, yeah.
Yeah, it goes all the way to the ground. And then the question is there a mirror behind him, or is there a second massive
He's got rooms of candles.
God. When there's not a flashbang on his face, this actually looks like dark and darker.
It looks so demonic.
It's dungeon-esque.
Somebody said with the lights on, homie, he looks like he's in the presence of a deity.
Just watch a YouTube tutorial, Elon. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, please. Do anything. The first thing everybody yells is turn off VSync. Try that. Or turn it on.
I think it's just his OBS settings. He just said OBS, I'm pretty sure. I think it's just the settings.
I just wonder why it's not happening in menu.
That's okay, I guess.
Oh, good question.
That shit is so bad.
See, it's not even on his inventory. It's just the game.
Good point.
It's weird. Elon, give me in there.
You know what he probably did? He probably set his bitrate to like 40,000 or some shit.
Oh,
so
I
now,
can't handle.
Yeah, so now it's kind of cooking it.
So I just look at the replies to the live post and just occasionally
Sir.
What was that statement? What the fuck?
That was not a complete sentence. What was that?
It sounded like he casted a spell.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a speed run, right?
I don't know.
I think that's what he was advertising.
Oh my god. I just got fragged by a blood blister.
Wow.
Well then, the first mob. What a speed run.
Oh, his name is I Will Never Die.
There we go. Now he's moving.
Cooking.
There we go. He had to get the wiggles out.
Yeah, it's his first time live streaming. He's got a big audience. He was nervous.
Yeah. And since it's dark in here, you can't even see the flickering that much.
That's true.
Oh, he's dead. Oh, wow.
That would have been awful if you died back-to-back times on this one mob.
This might be a bit of a grind.
All in all, the stream lasted about 40 minutes. It was a tech test. At the end, he was talking about how there's a lot to improve, but overall was just kind of working the bugs out. Now, he himself isn't the most amazing streamer. There was no chat, so he couldn't interact with anyone or anything, and he didn't really make any conversation on his own or even really talk. Most of the first 20 minutes was spent with him face down, buried in his phone. Like, he looked like me back in high school at prom, just like on the side of the wall, like just looking at my phone and nothing else. Like, it was just really insufferably boring just watching him struggle in Diablo and then not say anything at all, just kind of stare blankly at it and occasionally go, and that was about it. But he doesn't claim to be a good streamer, right? He's not out here trying to start his streaming career or anything. This really seemed like it was supposed to be a tech test. I just wish he had at least done the bare minimum beforehand to just make sure that he got his settings correct, because you could have probably found that flicker through just recording before going live and could have fixed it, because that was just unwatchable. That flicker was legitimately giving me a headache. And I'm not even like sensitive to that kind of stuff, but it was just so aggressive, like it was just making me disoriented. And you could have probably massaged that issue out before ever going live. Like, I don't think that just spontaneously happened when he clicked start stream. He probably could have figured it out through just a recording. But other than that, I do legitimately think it is a good idea for Twitter to offer streaming, just because I do like when there's more competition in the space. And since we've seen so many other streaming platforms that are performing well, it shows that there is room in the market for more competitors, which again just makes the entire industry more competitive, which makes everything better, because they have to be better in order to stay competitive. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to kind of talk about this a little bit. I guess we'll see where streaming's at in a year from now on Twitter. Maybe they never actually get it together or make it super functional or super great, or maybe they do and it becomes a legitimate competitor in the industry. We'll see. That's about it. See ya. I was going to wait a little bit longer before fully diving in on this, but I've talked about it on stream, tickling the subject here and there, with Elon Musk's weirdest lie so far about being a Path of Exile 2 top player. For as long as I can remember, Elon has always touted himself as basically a gaming god, where anytime he picks up the sticks, he becomes one of the best to ever do it. And he's been trying that with Path of Exile 2, puffing out his chest, popping his collar, letting people know that he has one of the top characters in the game. Which he does, except it's very clear from the live stream he did, it's not actually his character. He has one or a team of people that actually pilot this character, and they just give him permission to go on the account to flex it. It's not a hurricane machine conspiracy theory. It is beyond a shadow of a doubt true that Elon Musk does not play this game. His account that he showed is definitely not played by him. And it's very clear through the live stream, which we'll go through in a moment, because Quinn made a great video breaking it all down to show just how obvious it is.
So let's start off with some context. Elon Musk's character is currently level 97, aka rank 12 on hardcore, that's permanent death mode. Currently, what is their highest ranked player? They're level 97, same as Elon Musk. So, I mean, he effectively has been playing, pretty much just doing nothing except playing Path of Exile. So let's just go over some of the things that happened.
The reason I wanted to wait a little longer before diving into the spaghetti and meatballs of this is because I wanted to see Elon's response to it, because I know he's seen it. He is more addicted to social media than an Overwatch gooner. He is glued to this shit 24/7, so I am confident he is well aware that the entire gaming community is privy to his fraudulent claims of being one of the top Path of Exile players, and I just wanted to see how he would tackle that, because his responses are always glorious. It's always the most cringe shit imaginable, where he posts like an AI photo of himself as Iron Man. I am Irony Man. You call yourself the Joker, yet you can't take a joke. Ironic. And I wanted to see him do some garbage like that for this, but he hasn't yet, and I just really want to talk about it, because it is so clownish.
And he opens up his bank and he goes to a tab called Elon's Maps, which immediately is a little bit of a red flag because I don't know why you would refer to yourself in third person, but okay, he does that. He then proceeds to walk up to his map device and go to put a map in. The literal first thing you learn upon getting to the end game is how to operate this map device. You're going to start off at a node, and then from that node, you can go to adjacent connected maps. Now, Elon, he's trying to click.
Oh, he's trying to do the map that's not in the chain.
He's just clicking a map repeatedly, trying to access it. He was not eligible to enter that map.
I just want you guys to understand, this is one of the highest level hardcore characters in the game. He would have played thousands of maps at this point.
I don't know how many of you have ever subjected yourself to the torture of trying to watch an Elon Musk stream, but they are agonizing when he tries to stream a game. Because it's like 30 minutes of actual nothing burgers where he will sit there, AFK, and all you get is just background noise. The banging of pans sounds like shit falling over. It's like listening to Legos exploding, and then he'll like occasionally talk, and he's still doing nothing, and then maybe he'll do like briefly one map. Watching Snoop Dogg stream when he left and just left it running for like a day was more entertaining than trying to sit through an Elon Musk Twitter stream. They're fucking brutal. So Quinn, going through this, cut out a lot of that, and when he's actually trying to play the game, he doesn't know what he's doing. So what he's showing here is he has that tab called Elon's Maps, which is a weird thing to do, but he's a quirky guy. Maybe he refers to himself in the third person. You could maybe try and conjure up some kind of argument there, because he is just so peculiar as an individual that he would do that. But the big smoking gun in this intro is that he doesn't even know how to use the in-game map. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, I'm not even to that point in the game, yet looking at that map, I can tell you what is and is not accessible just through the basic understanding of how games work. He is clicking on a grayed out node. He is repeatedly clicking on it, expecting something different to happen. It's fucking grayed out, goofball. You clearly can't go there yet. But he doesn't understand it.
Anyone who's level 97 is... And you know, we're talking one of the most efficient players in the game, period. There is no way you would do that. Why just like sitting there like some sort of geriatric old man clicking this node, expecting something to happen, and then he finally kind of gives up after a while and then realizes his mistake. We then get a look at his inventory. So Elon Musk is stuck going into the map and with full bags. If you're an efficient player, you're going to clear a map, you're going to loot the valuable items.
And you're going to sell the trash, keep the good stuff, salvage the bad stuff. Everyone knows that. It's not just being an efficient player, it's just being a player in general. Elon Musk goes into it with a full inventory. You don't have to be a Path of Exile player to know that that's pretty stupid. If you're playing a game that revolves around getting loot, why would you go in with no ability of collecting loot? It doesn't make sense. Unless, of course, you're Elon, who doesn't actually play the game and can't wrap his head around that concept that, you know, having a full inventory kind of defeats the whole purpose. You'd want to get rid of your trash. Or if all of that is just treasure, just absolute beautiful loot you don't want to part with, you'd put it in your stash. You wouldn't take it into the map with you because you need the space in your inventory. That is like actual basics. And he's already failing on the most fundamental aspects of playing not only this game, but any games even similar to it. It's actually a rookie mistake that I myself was making when I was first starting this game, where I was just taking unnecessary shit with me. I didn't realize just how quick and easy it was to just go store it or sell it. You can just click a single button, it'll make a portal to the town, and you can just sell it and then go right back through that portal to where you were. You don't lose any time or anything. It's not a hassle or a chore. And it's something that once you start playing the game, you become privy to. But Elon Musk doesn't really play this game, it seems. Yet, somehow has one of the top accounts in the whole fucking hardcore space. How odd.
So what I'm doing here is just boosting my shield before battle via meditation. Meditation before battle is always good.
And he starts killing monsters. He starts obliterating monsters with his character. But what becomes obviously apparent...
Chaos Orb, no loot filter.
Filter is like, no, he's just running past Chaos Orbs! He just ran past the Chaos Orb!
Chaos Orbs are one of the most important currencies, and they're also really rare. I have about 140 Exalts. I have like 9 Chaos Orbs, just so you guys understand.
This fucking goober doesn't even have the wherewithal to loot one of the most valuable currencies in the game with a Chaos Orb. So I'm 30 hours deep. I've seen one. I've seen one in 30 hours. And he just runs right by it. He doesn't know the game at all. The only thing he loots are completely meaningless waystones. They're not fully meaningless, but for where he's at in the game, it's not what you'd be prioritizing for loot. But the reason he's clicking the waystones is because those are what's highlighted. Meanwhile, Chaos Orb wasn't highlighted, so in Elon Musk's little, like, caveman brain, not shiny, not need. So he just ignores it. He doesn't know the game.
It's unfathomable for someone to be in the top ranks without a loot filter. Yet Elon Musk, the god gamer, he doesn't play with a loot filter. The only thing Elon does pick up are maps, because the default in-game loot filter highlights those. Those things are worthless. The actual items of value that he should be picking up, that he would have had to pick up in order to get the gear, leave it on the ground. He gets to the boss, he's fighting the boss, and I want to say for about 10 seconds, he sits there and he's out of mana. Mana is a resource in this game where you need it in order to use your abilities. He just sits there, default attacking the boss without activating his mana flask. Anyone who's played the game and understands the character would understand, like, oh, I'm not doing any damage because I'm out of mana.
There's no explanation for him being bad at this character at this level. If he was the one that has been piloting it this whole journey, he would have mastered it. And what Quinn is pointing out is that he clearly hasn't. You can tell from his gameplay. When he's fighting this boss here, he is out of mana for an inexcusably long period of time. In Path of Exile 2, if you go out of mana, if you play League of Legends, you can immediately pop a mana flask and get it back to continue optimizing your DPS. He doesn't do that. His character is juiced out the wazoo, so he's able to get away with being so dog shit. But the fact that he doesn't pop his mana flask for like 10 seconds is crazy to me. And anybody who plays the game. It's not him being some kind of chess master galaxy braining this where he's being frugal with his mana. Well, actually, I made a calculation that it would be suboptimal if I had popped one of my fucking 20 mana flasks at this moment, because you wouldn't understand. I'm one of the top players in the game. I'm thinking, well, 5 steps ahead of you. It's just him just being bad. It's him being bad at this character, because it's not really his character. Whoever is piloting this account behind the scenes and boosting it lets Elon go on and do these really easy maps where even when he's super shit, he can get away with being bad and not be punished for it.
He then goes on to loot items off the ground. He starts dragging them into his bag. Like, I don't even know how to describe to you how painful that is to anyone who actually plays the game. And his bags are full and he just keeps clicking it over and over and over again. Nobody, not even people who are kind of noobs at the game, do this. I don't even think Elon Musk has done the campaign, honestly.
I also don't think he's finished the campaign, and I'm going to go a step further. I don't think he has ever really played an ARPG to a high level at all, including Diablo. Nobody, I mean actually nobody, is going to drag their loot into their bag once they spend any amount of hours in Path of Exile or Diablo or anything. No one's going to be doing that. That is a mistake that only your grandpappy would make if you sat him down to play this game, where you just slowly drag in the loot. Nobody fucking does that. So I really question the authenticity of his claims of being one of the top Diablo players through his own sheer blood, sweat, tears, and elbow grease and cum. I think something similar has been happening for him on Diablo, where he has people behind the scenes playing the game for him, and then he just goes on occasionally to do a couple maps to flex on Twitter streams.
You're also an innovator there.
Yeah, I've played a lot of video games.
You think about like StarCraft, any game where a lot of people are playing. To rise to the top, you have to be exceptional, period, as a human being.
Yeah.
There has to be something exceptional about you.
Yeah.
Are you in the top 20 in the world or top 20 wow, in Diablo?
Yeah.
A ton of people are calling this into question now after watching the Path of Exile stream, because those are transferable skills. If you're really good at Diablo, you should at least be pretty good at Path of Exile. And he's just not. And he lacks the basic understanding of ARPG fundamentals. So how the fuck could he be one of the top Diablo players and be this clueless for Path of Exile? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't compute.
His settings on the map transparency are turned on by default. His life values are turned on. All these basic settings that anyone in the top 100 would do, he is not doing. Maps can effectively have different content on them, and that content will be signified by icons on the map. So it could be a map which has an expedition in it, a breach in it, or it could be corrupted. Elon starts looking through the atlas, and he finds a map with, I kid you not, 4 things on it.
There are 4 things there. So this one has the real risk of dying.
4 things. What are those things?
God, dude. Four things. It's 4 things, dude.
You can't just write this off as him being lazy and trying to put it in layman's terms, because this stream of him flexing his Path of Exile 2 achievements isn't made for, you know, your uncle or something who's a big Elon meat swallower. This is, like, specifically catered to gamers. So it makes no sense that he would just write that off as just 4 things, and also his settings make no sense for someone in the top 100. No loot filter and all the basics still on. That's how I play. And I am nowhere near a top player in Path of Exile 2 at all. It doesn't work. That excuse of him just being lazy, it doesn't work. He could not achieve what he has in Path of Exile 2 with these settings and the way he approaches the game. It's clearly just not him that has got the character to this point. He doesn't know what those 4 things are, which is why he calls it that.
He then goes on to say, oh, kid you...
This is max difficulty on hardcore. If there's a way to get higher difficulty, I don't know what it is, but this is everything maxed out.
Path of Exile has boss fights and endgame bosses, which are quote-unquote difficult battles, which Elon actually did do in one of his streams, where he just went into the endgame boss and died repeatedly to it. Maps are just farming. You go into maps and you farm them for loot and experience. They're not the most difficult battles, and I don't know if he's trying to deceive people watching a stream into thinking that he's doing some insanely hard thing, whenever he's literally doing something you do to effectively grind or farm.
Listening to Elon talk about Path of Exile 2 is like listening to the out-of-touch writers in CSI, where they'd have things like, yeah, I have all the top scores in every MMORPG ever. I am elite noob slayer. Like, when they try and relate to gamers, that's Elon with Path of Exile 2. It's such a weird thing to lie about, because this isn't a cool thing to anyone that's not already playing Path of Exile 2, but anyone who plays the game would immediately recognize he's just making shit up and doesn't actually know what he's doing or saying. And it's just classic Elon. This is a max difficulty Turbo XL Super Arcade. In fact, I'm the only one that's unlocked this difficulty setting, and I just wish it was a little bit harder, because for someone of my intellect, it's just a bit beneath me. But yeah, this is maxed out difficulty on hardcore. You can see I'm breezing through it. I wish I could increase the difficulty a little bit just to stimulate myself a bit more, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm just too good for it. Like, the way he talks about this game, while clearly being clueless on it, is actually infuriating. I can't fucking stand it.
And Elon Musk starts going over his gear.
This is a great staff, but it's only a level, 62 staff.
His weapon is, I kid you not, one of the best, if not the best staffs on the entire hardcore trade league. You cannot even buy it. Insane weapon.
Not only does Elon have a staff that you can't even buy, but it's so good that second best one, which is missing 2 of what makes a staff so powerful for an invoker, which is the crit and crit bonus, is still 20 divines, and that's obviously very expensive.
Here I am, like, level 95, but my staff is only level 62.
That is something that you learn pretty early on into the game, that the actual level of gear isn't the most important part about it. That's just the requirement to equip it. Quinn gave an example that one of the strongest, most meta builds at the moment uses a weapon that is level 1 requirement. A level 1. If Elon Musk had that on his stream, he would have probably blown a fucking gasket. He would have had a conniption, thinking that his boosters were doing a bad job. But they're doing such a good job that it has become blatantly obvious that Elon is not the one behind it at all. His weapon is nuts, yet he is fixated on it being level 62, thinking it's beneath him because he's a much higher level. He doesn't grasp the concept that it's not the level that makes the weapon good, it's all of the blue stuff there. You can't reach this point in the game without that basic understanding. You just can't. Like, he's talking like he needs to upgrade his weapon soon. Like, yeah, I need to get myself a better weapon, one that reaches my potential at level 95. But for now, this is getting the job done. I'm able to do all of this with such a low-leveled weapon. It's fucking insanity.
My helmet is level 56.
Int, lightning, and chaos resist. Okay. It's only 56.
Amulet level 61. Ring is only level 48, 49. At least a level 75 jacket.
It's a jacket with 6 things. Yeah, tell us how bad the item that only drops from the highest difficulty of the hardest boss. Just tell us that it's only level 52. Did you find this at level 52? That's impressive.
Level 52 here.
They can only ever be level 52. Bro, Elon Musk is a fucking fraud, bro.
Pretty low level compared to my character level, but seems to work pretty well. In softcore, you can get much better equipment.
Seems to work pretty well is an understatement. He is a fucking force of nature with this gear. He is beyond juiced. The actual pilots of this account have done an extraordinary job of making an absolute deity with this, this gear here. And yet Elon can't recognize that because he's not the one that did it. He only mentions the item's level, the least important part about items in the game. And once again, the excuse of, oh, he's just being lazy and he's trying to put it in layman's terms so people can understand. People know, like, level 62 versus level 95. Well, no, because that doesn't work because the 62 is extremely good regardless of him being level 95. He could be level 1000 and that level 62 weapon is still going to be fucking unbelievable. Like, he just doesn't understand how the game works. He just doesn't. Like, if he didn't want to go into detail on everything for his gear during the stream, that's fine, but he is actively saying that the gear isn't really good because of its level, which is so false, it's laughable. That's why he is being giggled at by both Crip and Quinn during this, because he is beyond clueless as to what he's even looking at and what he's talking about. And from his gameplay, it seems he doesn't even really know how to play the game itself either. I would wager a guess he's maybe spent a couple of hours actually playing the game, but only, like, clearing maps. I don't think he has ever picked up a piece of fucking gear in his life or worked on a build or anything at all. I don't think he even knows how to use, like, skill gems or support gems or anything. I bet if you asked him to bring up, like, certain things, like explain why this gym is where it is, he would have no clue why. If he brought up his skill tree, he would have no idea what's even on it. And, like, if you asked him about trials, he would hit you with big fucking question marks or just ignore it and move on. He doesn't know the game. And he proved it with this live stream here. But the question needs to be asked, why? Why even lie about this in the first place? Again, this isn't something cool to people who don't play Path of Exile. But anyone who plays Path of Exile is going to recognize that you're a fraud. This is not your account. If he was honest about it, saying like, hey, I tried Path of Exile, I really liked it, but I don't have time to grind it, so I paid people to grind it for me, I think people would have a little bit more respect for that, as opposed to him cosplaying as one of the top players, pretending he's the one actually putting in the work and doing it, when he's definitely not.
And if you needed any more proof that Elon is 100% boosted, he was playing the game today inside of maps blasting while simultaneously on a X space.
Yeah, RIP. So Elon's account, Percy, did die, and in hardcore that is permadeath. And I'm not sure if it was Elon that died on it, or if one of the people he paid to boost it made a mistake while grinding. I'm not sure. But I love the idea that it was Elon who bit the dust on it and bought the farm, because the people that actually put the hundreds of hours into getting this account so juiced out the wazoo are probably fucking furious. Like, they set Elon's maps aside, which are very easy maps for him to clear for the sake of flexing on Twitter with this account that they're actually putting the work into, and yet somehow this bumbling buffoon still finds a way to die on this overpowered character, just reverting all of their hard work to zero. It's just a beautiful thought, because they set aside easy maps for him. And maybe he got a little too big for his britches. Maybe what happened is he saw all the people, you know, calling him out for obviously not playing this game. He's like, okay, I'll put on my big boy britches and I'll do some hard content, and immediately just gets fucking washed. Like, just actually rinsed. I'm very excited to learn how exactly this account perished, because this, I feel like he'd probably mention it, you know, like, what happened? What went so wrong? But yeah, I wanted to talk about this a bit. It's such a weird, stupid thing to even lie about in the first place, and yet here he is, telling blatantly obvious fibs. He's got all the money in the world and all of the insecurity imaginable. He has this desperate, insatiable appetite for unconditional love from everyone, and in this pursuit makes everyone hate him through being just a lying cringelord. Like, this is such an unnecessary lie to even tell. He just wants to be viewed as the smartest person to ever grace this fucking space rock that we live on, and the best at everything he even attempts to do, even when he's just not. He could have actually probably scored a ton of brownie points with gamers by saying, hey, Path of Exile 2 is a really good game. I'm learning it right now. Watch me stream the early game content. And people probably would have actually really applauded that because he's playing it on his own two legs here. He's playing and learning it, and that could have been a really easy way to relate to gamers. Like, hey, this game's great. I'm going to start learning to grind it. I'm not very good right now, but if you want to check out my early game, here's the stream. And I bet it would have been received far better than this dog shit. He is poorly playing an account that has never actually been piloted by him. But it's an account with a lot of prestige because it's so high ranked, and that is like the most appealing thing to Elon. It's just, it's nonsensical. He's so fucking cringe, it's crazy. That's about it. So, yeah.